A number of years ago, I felt that I had to always wear two different hats. I wore the hat of a medical professional and a fitness professional, and then I also wore a hat in a spiritual belief of mine that we are all spirit, that we are connected energetically throughout the universe to each other, that time is irrelevant. And I always had to try to justify why I had success doing physical techniques when deep inside I knew that it was a spiritual component. And it was probably about 5 years ago that I had my own little revelation that the two of them are the same. The skills and the science and the technology that I have learned has greatly been influenced by a spiritual connection to God, to the universe, to other individuals who think and feel the same way, who I've met in my travels. I would say probably one contributor to that would be Darcy Umfred. Darcy Umfred is on her deathbed right now, and a dear soul of mine, dear friend of mine, and a great mentor. She's in her 70s and was a great physical therapist working with neurologically impaired people. But she always stated that she would say a little prayer or meditation before she would ever treat, and that she felt that God would utilize the tools that she worked so hard to acquire. And that touched me deeply to realize that I truly believe in God, and I also believe in the science and the skills and the techniques and the research that's out there that has allowed me to implement them in the service of others. And so when I've had students come in and say, "What? How did you know to go there? Or how did you know to use that technique? Or how did you get that result?" Before I would have said, well, I used a manipulation of this sort and this kind of a technique and exercise. And now I'm more inclined to say, I felt guided by the Spirit to use tools that I have worked hard at acquiring. And I think that's, if you say, what makes up Brent's tool bag? Lots of skills, lots of practice. I love what I do, but it is guided by the Spirit. When I reflect on things that have influenced Polestar's approach to Pilates education, I have to always include a number of different fields that I have studied that have influenced me greatly. And I would say probably the one that has influenced me the most has been neurolinguistics. I think just from a communication standpoint, people hear what they're going to hear, and therefore the better I communicate, the better I can be an educator. So I think that's really important. I think also my manual therapy background, I've done year-long residencies in manual therapy. I think that training in education and pedagogy of education when I was studying for my doctorate. I also think that imagery is crucial, and we've relied very heavily on work from Eric Franklin. I feel that we have relied heavily on work with bioenergetics, and one of my mentors is Dr. Carol Davis, and she has turned me on to a number of different books and authors and research papers that help support how energy communicates movement. And I'm so interested in how movement is affected, and I think all of these things have influenced me, hence have influenced Polestar. Over the last 18, 19 years, I've had the chance to meet and the privilege to work with a number of what a lot of people refer to as the Pilates elders, or the first generation. And I regret the fact that I never got to meet Claire or Joe Pilates. I think I was 5 years old when Joe passed away. But I have had the chance to meet Carola Trier, to meet Romana Krasnowska, to meet and work with Eve Gentry, to meet Kathy Grant, Mary Bowen, and a number of second-generation teachers who have also greatly influenced me, including Michelle Larson, Deborah Lesson, Jean-Claude West. But when I think back of the one that has touched me the most, I would have to say it was Eve Gentry. And I had the chance to spend a number of weeks down in Santa Fe, New Mexico before she passed away, and to work with her and with Michelle Larson, who was her protege, and to feel of her great love and passion